So today we're going to be working in our section called Setting a Price, and this should feel really familiar from our review and diagnostic unit where we went over percentages, decimals, and fractions. So our first example, oh, don't forget our definition here. Highlight if you're following along guided notes, and remember to write it down in your math journal later. So we're going to convert 65% to a decimal, and knowing that a percent is really a ratio or a fraction where percent means of 100. It's that simple. And if we were to leave it in a fraction, we would reduce it, but because it's not our main goal, we don't have to. When we plug this into our calculator or look at this and say that it's of 100, so it's 65 hundredths, we should know from our very first section how to write that. Or the other thing that we can do is we can divide it. Whoa. And get the same answer. The other thing that you can notice is that all we did is we moved our decimal that's right here technically, and we moved it here, we moved it 2 spots to the left. So let me write that. So 65%, if we have a decimal here, we just moved it 1, 2, and we made a new decimal to give us 0.65. And that is a really, really common shortcut, so much so that they gave us a little note right here. So dividing by 100 gives the same result as moving the decimal 2 places to the left. Now we have an example where we're calculating percent of a number. First thing, change percent to a decimal, which gives us 20% is equal to 0.202. Multiply. If you don't need the steps, don't write the steps. It's just sometimes nice. So then we say 0.20 is multiplied by 45, which gives us a value of, I want to say 9? Yeah. So equals 9. The other thing you could do is you could set it up as a proportion. So you could say this is alternative. You don't need to write this. So we know that this is 20 over 100 is equal to x over 45. And this is not an easy one for us, so then we just multiply it out. So this is 900 over 100 is equal to x. So 9 is equal to x. Either way works. This is an alternative one. And this is really good if you prefer working with proportions. Example 3, what percent is 5 of 20? Ooh. So I don't think we did anything like that in our review and diagnostic unit, but that's exciting, which means we're going to learn something new. So there are 2 different ways to do this. The first way that comes to mind for me to do it is knowing that 5 of 20 is the same thing as saying this. When I divide this, I get 0.25, and I know that that is 25%. The other way that we can do this is we can set this up as a proportion. So x of 100 is equal to 5 over 20. And then that is x is equal to 500 over 20. Yep. So then 5. The other way that you could do this is you could also say x is equal to 5 over 20 times by 100, and this can reduce to 5 times 5, and this crosses out. All of these ways are perfectly valid. Just remember percent of 20. So if I'm trying to find the percent, I need to divide or use proportions. Okay, a new skill. When a person owns a business, they usually buy merchandise at wholesale price. They then sell it at a higher price called retail price to make a profit. The retail price is often determined by adding a certain percentage of the wholesale price to the wholesale price. This is referred to as the markup. Here's our definition: the difference between the amount a dealer sells a product for and the amount they paid for it. Sales tax are usually added to the retail price. There are three kinds of taxes you need to consider: goods and services, provincial sales tax, and harmonized sales tax. Melanie owns a clothing store. Her standard markup is 85%. Wholesale, she bought a coat at $125. So what would her markup be? Let's change that 85% to a decimal. And we need to we need to multiply that by 125, which gives us 106.25, or $106.25. So the markup is $106.25. How much would Melanie charge her customer for the coat? So Melanie needs to add together the price that she bought it. So original price, or let's say wholesale price, plus the markup equals the retail price. Because we're charging a customer that's retail price. So this is 125 plus 106.25 is equal to 231.25. So Melanie will charge $231.25. So Melanie will charge $231.25 for the coat. Okay. Then we're going to work with another example here where this includes GST and PST. So it says here, Quentin wants to buy a pair of steel-toe boots listed at $179.95. How much will the boots cost if we consider tax? So GST and PST is 5 and 6% respectively. This is the same thing in Saskatchewan. So first things first, we convert these to decimals. So we have 0.05 and 0.06. So what we can do is we can actually combine the tax here. So this would be 0.11, and then we just multiply this by 179.95, which gives us $19.79. So this is tax. So then to get the total price, it is the original price plus the tax. So that gives us 179.95 plus $19.79, which is equal to $199.74. The other way that you can do this in kind of a one-step way is to kind of think about how the decimal works with it. So we can think about retail price as being 100% of the cost. If you add the two sales tax with this. So this is 100% of the cost, right? Because we know that this is the same thing as 100%. Then we add in that tax, we get 1.11. So then if we multiply this by 179.95, we get the same price. Now these methods we can only use in math because the store needs to calculate the GST and PST individually. So this works. Because we are not finding just one tax. If you wanted to find just one tax, you would just go back and multiply it step by step. Like this. And you may find that your answers are slightly different from method to method, and that is because of where all the different rounding occurs. Like for instance, this method will round sooner than we did in the other two methods. It'll be pretty close. It might be like 1 decimal spot off. So then total price. Plus 9 plus 10.80, which is 199.75. Yeah, that's it for the day. If you have any questions or need more examples, let me know.